Breaking Jake Munro update. Hashtag Toxic Tears ex-boyfriend Jake Munro decided to attack ex-girlfriend Kaya for that sweet Christmas season AdSense money as his subscribers abandoned him. A year after the relationship ended, he posted a 2-hour-long video telling the world that Kaya suffers with severe mental health problems, and that's why he had fits of rage so violent he destroyed walls.
Oh, she mentioned you would break her things and holes in them. I was a young man in my late teens, early 20s. I made Kaya very aware that I had an anger problem before the relationship started. I said I have a problem with anger. She was like, that's okay.
Kaya was only 16 when Jake says she consented to his violent behavior.
Got into the relationship, and of course, 19-year-old being thrust into the real world, having to, pay for a house, do a 9-to-5 job, paying bills, dealing with debt, that kind of thing. Very, very stressful time.
Jake was noted to be looking considerably less gothic during this festive breakdown.
I was frustrated. I was being beaten down by everything. I had no support network, no friends, no family to confide in. Kaya wasn't working. And if I vented that anger by punching a door, I feel like that's completely valid if I'm not hitting anyone.
Like, another reason that I was always so afraid when he was so angry is like, he may not have ever hit me, but I feel like he always, again, maybe it's just how I'm feeling. I can only say how it felt from my point of view. He didn't hit me, but it felt like he always made sure that I knew he could, and more than that he wanted to. He'd be screaming at me about like how I'm so shit and how I'm like ruining his life by being messy, like not those exact words, but like that kind of thing. And in doing that, he's yelling at me and punching doors. And like, how am I meant to take that other than it's me that he wants to be punching? Like, that's how it feels. If he's yelling at me and it's my fault and he's so angry he needs to hit something, like that feels like he wants to hit me, but he's just taking it out on something else. And like, living with that, someone who reacts in that kind of way to anger, was so scary and so fucking emotionally draining. It was so much to deal with. And it just made my issues worse, like the depression and the anxiety and stuff. It made it even harder to get myself into any sort of mentally healthy space where I could like do stuff. Like, it was a real burden to take on. Like he said multiple times in the video, he didn't have any friends. I was the only one there, so I was taking like the full brunt of his issues. And generally, unfortunately, the main thing that he would experience was anger, which is hard because I was scared of him. So like, like even when he'd be yelling at me, like he'd do this thing, again, I don't know if he realized he did this, but he'd be like yelling at me angry, and he would like go like that, and again that felt like oh, I want to hit you so bad, but I'm holding back. I don't know, maybe that's not what that was, but someone doing this while they're screaming at you, it's fucking scary. And like, there was multiple times, and again, like, I'm telling you, he never hit me. I'm not going to make it seem that way, but I was always so afraid of it because he was so fucking strong. And I remember there was like times where I like struggled to sleep at night after we had a big fight, because I'd be thinking like, if he finally snaps one day and just like in just one moment of just anger just turns around and hits me, I'll probably die. Like he could easily kill me with one punch. He was so fucking strong. He could so easily just kill me with one punch. And I was like, God, that could be how my life ends. Like, it hasn't happened so far, but he could snap one day. People snap. I'm trying to explain that it's not me being lazy and that I just couldn't. If the fear of literally fucking being punched in the head and dying wasn't enough to make me clean, then I don't know what was going to. Like, it's 100% an issue in my brain. It was never just being lazy or never our spite or disrespect towards him.
Now, of course, you can make up your mind about that. You guys can decide whether or not that was aggressive behavior directed at Kaya, but to me, that was my way of venting my anger. I couldn't drive anywhere. I didn't have any friends to go and see. I didn't have any money to go out. I'd already explained and warned the girl I was gonna get with, Kaya, that I had anger problems, and she said, oh, that's okay, that's fine. Do I regret venting my anger in that way? Absolutely, of course. I've already said I'm not some amazing shining angel of justice here, of infinite patience. I know I fucked up. Everybody fucks up. By venting my anger in such an aggressive way, that's a fuck up. It's valid to feel angry. Most people are incredibly understanding of every other negative mental health problem. Like if you're depressed, or you're anxious, or any of those other softer negative emotions, right? Because they're not aggressive. It's easily approachable. It's like a sense of feeling sorry for someone.
I wonder why people aren't understanding to your anger, Jake.
His anger was so out of control. The day that we got, if you remember, like years back, we got like thrown out of one of our houses because the landlord decided to sell, and that was horrible. And you know, I was panicked, Jake was angry, and like, I agree, he had every right to be really angry, that was a horrible situation, but the way he reacted to it was so bad. He was like demolishing the house, and it's like, again, like screamed at me to just get out of the house, and I didn't know what to do. I was like in like little tiny shorts and pajamas. I had to grab Sebastian so that he wouldn't be in the way of things being thrown and broken. Grab Sebastian, and thankfully at that time we were friends with our neighbours across the road, and I had to like run across the road half fucking naked, holding Sebastian, banging on their door. My friend was in the bath, so she didn't hear me for ages, so I'm just standing crying and shaking, holding Sebastian, who's trying to get out of my arms. So yeah, I'm standing like, you know, trying to get in this door, people are driving by looking at me like, what the fuck's going on? I'm standing half naked holding this cat, fucking crying and panicking. And like I said, that would like, you know, that wasn't anything to do with me.
For me, I didn't get those emotions that regularly. I would always feel those emotions as frustrated anger. And of course, they're all coming from the same place as depression and anxiety. It's just, it's coming out as anger. But because the anger isn't the normalized way that people feel sad, I was demonized for it. I'm still being demonized for it. That's how I felt. That's how I dealt with it. Was it great? No. Have I since dealt with it? Absolutely. I haven't been angry this entire year. Despite watching people destroy my career, I've had to sit here and watch them do it, and I've not felt anger once.
Jake in fact did feel anger several times during this in various comment sections for all to see.
I think I punched the door once in the old house, maybe twice, in the 5 years we were there. I dealt with my anger problem very quickly when I was about 25, which is about six years ago. Again, that's where Make It a Great Day came from. I dealt with my anger myself a long time ago.
That was before that. I can try to say it didn't happen. It absolutely did. The holes were full of doors to the point where I had an email from the landlord after we moved out, furious about the holes in the doors and stuff. And I tried to downplay it, pretend it wasn't really happening that much, but like, you know, there were, and like, most of the holes were in the bathroom door. And I was trying to think, like, why the bathroom door and why not the bedroom door? And it's like, it's because the bathroom was the only door that locked. So when I was really stressed, I needed to get away, I would usually go into the bathroom, because it was a very small house. I'd go into the bathroom, that was the door I could lock and try to like be away, so that was the door that would get punched more.
Long time ago. But of course, it tracks with Kaya that she would bring something up from way in the past, or apply it to today's arguments in order to discredit me, and some people still do that as well. That was a long time ago, and I dealt with it.
How could things possibly get worse for the Gothic child discipline enthusiast JAKE Munro? Stay tuned to find out.
Karma is a bitch.